welcome to the show, Nichi. Are dating apps actually changing the way that we fall in love?
Well, the most important thing to say is they're not actually rewiring our brains. They're changing the process by which we meet people, so they're changing the rituals.
OK.
So it's the things like our manners around dating, which have got pretty poor, I would say.
You're saying we're ruder to people today?
We're definitely ruder to people.
And why do you think that is?
Well, because there's a kind of lack of accountability on a dating app. If you've got on a date with somebody, you don't know anything about them. If they needed to identify you, they wouldn't be able to, apart from with the pictures. So as a result, you can be rude to them.
I think when we talk about intimacy in sex tech, we presume that we have an intimacy deficit now and that technology is actually making us less intimate than we've ever been before. Do we think this is true?
I don't think, personally, that more technology equals less intimacy.
I've wondered if part of the problem has been that it's been men designing these objects for themselves, for partners, but not with very much consultation of women. This is a rhetorical question to start, but when is the last time that you paid for your porn? Definitely something to think about. Do you check if you're watching a video that's being pirated? Ethical consumption of food and fashion and all manner of things has become so important to our society that porn seems to be the thing that we still feel very self-conscious about. We're not able to discuss it very easily, and we don't know where to go for information about how to watch ethical if we want to watch ethical.
I would say identity politics for some people, or identities perhaps, not identity politics, have been important for certain marginalised groups because they just needed to feel that they have somebody has their back, right?
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's that second part that I was talking about under liberalism, which is exactly the same argument as you get for liberalism's argument for patriotism.
Can we move on and talk about Israel, actually? Because you tell us there about a really intricate love story between Fadi and Nadav. One's Israeli, one's Palestinian. And there's something really interesting that comes up, which is about how the power relations between Israel and Palestine end up playing out in the relationship to some extent.
The further it goes on, the more that bond of trust between public and those people who lead the public is being corroded.
Absolutely. You know, back in March, he was saying we'd be on top of it in 12 weeks. You know, through the summer, we'd be on top of it by the autumn. Then now there's absolutely no kind of sense of when we'll be on top of it. He keeps sending out various ministers to do his dirty work in terms of delivering negative messages, like the way that he uses the stage experts too, but they can't stop the fact that the buck actually lies with him ultimately. You know, this isn't just a matter of poor cabinet decisions, this is a matter of poor leadership, and that's on Boris. This story is about this poor girl, Natasha Ednan Laperouse, who was 15 and died on a British Airways flight to Nice after eating a baguette which had contained sesame seeds and hadn't been labelled properly by Pret. And we've been seeing that story break over the past week, but this is a new development saying that, yes, Pret had been warned in the course of a year 9 times by other people who had also had a reaction from sesame seeds.
And 6 of those were this particular baguette.
6 of those were about this particular baguettes. They had full knowledge that this product should not be on the shelves without proper labelling, and they hadn't done anything about it. I suppose the issue must be that somebody doesn't quite understand the severity and the fact that you play Russian roulette every time you eat something when you have such a severe allergy. I mean, I really hope now that we can have a proper campaign to absolutely enforce labelling and that the government can step in on this, because it's completely unacceptable. And the fact they had prior knowledge of it is just disgusting.
I think Peter's missing the subtlety of the argument. It's about the context. And him saying, oh, you know, there was plenty of good political reporting surrounding this image. It's the cover image on the paper that sells the most copies in Britain. It has so much influence, you know, and to underestimate the power of that image is just to be completely naive about how the media works. Women's bodies are routinely objectified, criticised. You know, the Daily Mail runs a sidebar of shame, which is basically all about making people feel rubbish about their appearance.
Peter, Nichi
that makes it so much money. It's so significant to its operation.
Girls and boy jobs. Is there ever an appropriate demarcation?
No, I don't think there is in 2017. I think what Theresa May was doing was pointing out to the fact that, unfortunately, we do still gender divide most jobs. We know from the Office of National Statistics that women do 40% more housework than men, and from 2 leading Oxford University researchers that over a course of 50 years, women have averaged about 76 minutes extra per day housework.
Couples, Kay, are perfectly capable of dividing up their household chores without being told by relentlessly whiny feminists such as Nichi what to do.
Where's your evidence, Mike? What are your statistics? Where are your numbers?
Oh, dear God.
On how many hours more men work a week than women? Where are the numbers?
There are government statistics, a huge amount. I mean, this is just surreal, quite frankly.
Yeah,
sorry?
very surreal. It's very surreal that you can't have evidence to back up your arguments right now. That's what's surreal.
There is no problem here. And when there's no problem, there's no need for a solution.
There you go, Nichi.
No, I'd say there's a massive problem. I'd say, you know, the fact that 2/3 of the world's women are illiterate and therefore not able to do skilled work and having to stay at home to look after children and do housework isn't very beneficial to the world's economy.
Taking your argument to its logical conclusion, what should they do? Who helps them?
Well, clearly men should come in and do all their housework.
OK, thanks. Nichi, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, when I was a professional dominatrix, men used to pay me to clean my house, and I thought that was quite a good solution too.
I think that's a great place to end this interview, don't you? It's good to talk to both of you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on Sky News this afternoon. Thank you.